Hello, Quillo Nation. This is John Dickerson, CEO and founder of Quillo. With us today, we've got our Chief Operating Officer, Sue Gordon, Rebecca Scherpholz, our Chief Content Officer, and video producer, Keisa Dickerson. And welcome to our Back to Basics A talk about culture. You know, when we talk about culture, I often ask people, how much time in a given week do you spend working on the culture of your organization? What do you want that culture to be? What are the three most important values of your culture? And people will often say to me, well, I don't work enough on it. I maybe work 30 minutes. I maybe do an hour a week. Let me suggest to you that every day and every minute that you as a leader are working in the organization, you are building the culture of your organization. It's all about how you treat people every day, how you communicate with them, and how do you build that culture. Quillo is all about building culture. And when we look at Quillo, we're talking about building better lives through better relationships. We can talk about questions people have about feeling closer to the organization. The question of quality, what really makes quality happen in the organization? How do we understand what's going on? Understanding the why of what you're doing and uplifting people. We want to be inclusive and we want to be informative, making sure people understand why we're doing things and what our real mission is. We want to listen, and we also hope people are loyal to us as an organization. Lastly, it's all about being ongoing in our communication and open-minded. So how does Quillo support that culture? Let me ask you a quick question. What were the last 5 messages your staff heard from their manager? Think about it for a moment. We learned in our market research that 80% of our communication between managers and staff was done by phone. It was a call, a text, or an email. And when we asked people about that, was their messaging predominantly positive, predominantly neutral, or predominantly negative? 70% of managers and staff said it was predominantly negative. So odds are the last 5 messages your staff received were, can you work another shift? Why did this problem happen? How did you let this happen? And it becomes very negative. Psychologists tell us to have a positive work culture, you have to have a ratio of 3-to-1 positive to negative messaging. We're 3-to-1 negative. We've got to turn that around. Quillo can help you do that. Quillo is based on positive psychology and building that culture that also focuses on the well-being of folks. To help you think about building a culture, we built the utilization curve. It starts with you. You're watching this video. You're the first person thinking about how you're going to build this culture and get to reaching your retention goals. And while it begins with you, it can't end with you. You need to enlist champions, people that will help you on your journey of building this new approach of communicating. Once you have your champions, begin planning that strong and positive communication plan. I said, what is the last 5 messages people had? Now, what are the next 5 you want them to receive from you? Messages of appreciation, messages of inspiration. I visited an office today where they put out for staff pictures of successes that are constantly changing to remind people of the success that you have happened every day. A strong and positive communication plan will lead to better relationships and increased retention. And you will find that people are staying because of those relationships. We've done 2 user group studies, and we found that nearly 40% of people say that if they use Quillo daily, weekly, or even several times a month, it improved their relationship with their supervisor. 40% improvement in relationship with supervisors. Even more powerful, 72% said that that changed their relationship to the positive with the people they support. 72% reported improved relationships with the people they supported, all as a result of strong, positive communication aimed at folks and building that culture. When we look at retention, and that's our goal, we want to keep people. We designed the retention wheel that starts with a culture based around well-being. Well-being for our staff, well-being for the people we support. And when we think about what flows into that, there are 4 key parts to it. Relationships, habits, processes, and time. You can find on our resources page an entire document that we laid out for you that begins looking at this. What are our habits? How do we choose to develop habits that are based on positive messaging and what we're sending out to our staff as opposed to negative? What are our processes that promote well-being and promote our staff? How do we spend our time? Everybody says we don't have enough time to get everything done. So how do we prioritize that? And how do we value those relationships? Just recently, we had a conference call, and one of the staff shared something interesting on the question of processes. They were always cracking the whip, his words, to get people to get billable hours in. And instead, they said, we want you to not say no to people in this month. We want to focus on what people really want to do. You know what happened? People were happier. And at the end of the month, they saw their actual number of billable hours went up when they focused on a culture and a process of doing what people wanted to do. Through Quillo, we have a variety of resources to help you think about culture in some different ways. On our YouTube channel at MyQuillo, you will find a whole set of resources for you, including where you found this video, but several others that begin thinking about what you can do and how do you make Quillo work to build culture. When we stop and think about it, you will also have resources in there at the myquillo.com/resources that give you ideas from everything from how to make your orientation sessions more exciting, how to look at the well-being, including the financial well-being of your staff, and how you can create your own messaging along the way of what we're doing. You'll also find the Quillo blog, where we pull in key stories of folks and thoughts from around the country that can help you think about this issue of culture. One quick question for you is, we ask in the blog is, what is your cultural address? If you had 2 words to decide on the 2 streets that intersect that determine your cultural address, what would they be? We've got a blog about that. It just gets you thinking about what's important in building your culture. One of the keys for you to make Quillo success and to build your culture is making your own videos. What we have found, people love to hear from their leaders. They love to hear from each other. They love to hear successes within your own organization. The Quillo library now is approaching 700 videos and growing every month. But what you connect with them on is your message. Recently, we sent around to subscribers a deck of playing cards with 52 different ideas for messaging that you could share with your staff. It's not hard. We often have people just record on a cell phone, and in a matter of 20 or 30 minutes, that video can be out to your staff or scheduled for a day in the future. It works. One of our subscribers recently, their CEO came back from a staff retreat and recorded in his basement a 1-minute video on Saturday afternoon, talking to all of his staff about how much their leadership appreciated people and what they were going to focus on in this next year. Nearly 80% of his staff watched that video in that next week. He knew that they wouldn't read that many if he'd have put it in an email or a memo. Not that many people would have read it. So making your own videos is a key. The next Back to Basics session is called Making Videos 101. And you'll be hearing from our staff with ideas and things that our own subscribers have done to make videos that have really resonated with their staff. And speaking of that, the Quillo staff is always here for you. Sue helps everybody from onboarding, orientation, and getting started and troubleshooting. Rebecca and Kisa can help you with ideas, both on how to make videos, edit videos, and even add music and graphics to your video. We're here to help you build that culture that is based on retention, the well-being of everyone in the organization, that'll make a brighter future for everybody. Again, our goal is more than just a motto. It's all about building relationships and building better lives. Thank you for being part of the Quillo Nation. Hope this has been helpful and look forward to you watching Back to Basics B. Thanks so much.